This is a video about a modification I'm making to the Cedarcraft self-watering planter. This is the one you can get from Costco. So far I've had no issues yet. I did use some clamps to get these boards nice and even, but a concern I keep seeing online is that if you a wet storm, the soil gets too heavy and the plastic falls out the bottom. So originally my thought was to just put some supports on the edges, which I'm still going to do, but luckily this is raised about an inch off the base, so it's easy to add supports, and I think 2 will do it. Maybe 1. No, I'm going to do 2. 1 on each end and then 2 in the middle. So I'll show you what that looks like, and I'm going to use pocket holes, just some spare boards I have lying around. And also another tip, they tell you don't pre-drill, which is insanity. I recommend a very 1/4 inch, 1/3 of an inch hole for a pre-drill, really small bit, and you're going to get a much better grip on your screws. And I use my impact, and only use an impact if you have good control over it. But I had no problem, no worries about stripping. One thing I wish they had done, because you had to sometimes flex these boards in to get them to stay flush like that, so they're up against each other. I wish they gave you 2 screws down at here, because when you got the board under pressure, 1 screw just seems like that could be one of the things that gives way sooner than later. So I might grab a self-tapping screw and reinforce these longer boards before I put it together. All right, be back in a minute with the update. Cut 4 pieces of board from little scraps I had lying around. These 2 are going to be on the ends, and then these 2 are going to be in the middle supporting the base. All right, I'll give you an update when they're installed. Okay, so I've got the sidebars mounted in. I just cut 17 inches. Doesn't have to be perfect on the edge. You're just providing support. I just ran 1 1/4 Craig stainless steel, more or less, just to be a little more protective. I don't want it to rust, so I got stainless steel. And I thought I should fit the, I don't know what you call that, the tub, the planter. So I fitted it in, and it fits perfect. But it occurred to me, after cutting my 4 pieces of wood, that this isn't going to work. So in a perfect world, this would be awesome, but it's not a flat tray. So this was my plan, and I undercut them. So these are going back to the scrap pile, and I'm gonna go to the store, and I think I'm gonna get some sort of strap that I could screw into the sides and then adjust the height. I think that's my best bet, but I don't know if it's gonna work, but some sort of strap, and then screw the strap in, because the strap has to go under, let's just say that's 4 inches. It's got to go down 4 inches across the thing. So that was my plan originally, and had a brain fart when I went into design here, and we'll see how it goes. But I definitely like the side rails. I think this is, if you're going to do this, use solid wood. Don't use any laminate or anything that's going to break down easily. I mean, not that this is all that strong, but it is actually solid wood. So anyway, I'm going to go over to the depot and get moving on this. Hopefully I'll have a cool strap set up here, and I'll be almost done. Oh, and the casters on this thing are really nice for, it's a big rubber caster. Okay, so I didn't actually go to Home Depot because I realized I had this strap that I must have picked up from Harbor Freight a while ago. And I'm just gonna fit that and trim it, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. A couple little other modifications. I added a self-tapping screw in the corners of the longboards, and that's just because I just wanted more support. I didn't love that you had one screw on a longboard of the supporting longboard. So I put those in the four corners, just on the long ones. I think we're okay on the sides. And then the last little modification is I took out this top board, and I didn't like, this top board was bowing out and just enough to annoy me. So I pulled out the two screws on the sides and used a clamp to pull it essentially where I wanted it, and then tightened in two pocket screws with the venerable Craig pocket hole drill, pocket hole jig. And yeah, so now the frame is exactly how I want it. The next thing I want to do is put the strap in and see how that goes. All right, a little update on the straps. I use those self-tapping screws. I don't want to go too far and pop out the other side. So what I'm going to try to do is set the bowl in, set the tray in, and then pull it tight and screw it in. It's just a little support, and see how that goes. I'll let you know if it works. Okay, so this is the last video showing the modifications I made. This is with the tray in. You can see I've got the strap, two straps, and look underneath. You can see they're nice and secure there. They'll still let water pass. And when you put pressure down on it, you could feel the straps tighten a bit. So I think that's plenty. I hope I don't have to take them apart, but I think I've done way more reinforcement than I'll practically ever need. But I like this little box. It's lightweight, it's raised, keep the animals away. So I hope these tips were helpful, and let me know what you think.